Let's go everyone, how are we doing? There's a few people to join up. Try and get the best sort of angle for you. So, at the moment, I'm going to strip the driver's side, the passenger side front door, and we're going to obviously look at removing some parts of the dashboard, and try and see whether we can get the heater box out. So I'm gonna head over. First things first, door open, I'm gonna remove the wiring. Probably don't need to go so overkill with this. But should just be a case picking the wiring off, pulling the plug off. So front wiring's off. Literally a little clip just like that. Right, we then need, I believe, is a T40. So if we go into here, see whether a T30 will fit. Hi Laura, how are we doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, so I believe it is a T40, however a T30 has fit. There's a spider, I'll get rid of him. So, that's now remove the check strap. What I should be able to do now is, if I move the wiring out of the way, should be able to shut the door. I will bring you around this way, because without the front wing, we found, move that out of the way, we found that getting a pry bar or a screwdriver and getting it on the pins at a bit of an angle, and then just attempting to hit the pins up. Slowly coming. Eventually, pin will probably be better with a more precise screwdriver or a chisel. She's still in there. She's still in there. However, I'm glad that you're doing really good, Laura. Good to hear. Just have to be ever so careful not to damage the door while we're doing it. Michael Welsh, good boy. Welcome in, how are we doing? How's your Sunday going? Literally on its last legs, but it just does not want to come out that final bit. Move over to the top one. Top one's a bit easier to try and obviously get onto. Simply knock the pins down. Again, makes it a bit easier without the wings on, but the wings are a bit of a nightmare to get off. But how's everyone's Sunday going so far? Yeah, these lives ain't no perfect videos. Show you what a normal person would do in certain situations. But simply just keep knocking the pins out. And the good thing about it is with it being latched, the door should stay in position. So if I keep working the pins, eventually they'll come out. Could be here for another 10 minutes doing this, could be 2 minutes. Hi Luna, so this is a Vauxhall Zafira. I'll zoom out a bit, or what currently remains of a Vauxhall Zafira. We are taking final parts off as the car is going to scrap. It is getting picked up. There was a few issues, so the windscreen was cracked, this mirror was missing, it needed dissing pads all around. Tyres, the lot. It wasn't obviously worth it, so rather than repair it, we've just got to the point where obviously we've stripped it down for parts. But yeah, then we've currently got projects going on this car as well, which is the Insignia. A little bit in the background. The engine is pretty much ready to come out. It's all loose, it's all off, so we will be doing a live on this soon, hopefully, getting that all stripped out. And then once the engine's stripped out, this is all going to get stripped down. I'm going to try and find out what's actually going off with this. I'm already aware of, I'll show you, those that are obviously new to the videos, there is a hole in the top of the metal cover just there on the Insignia. So when we came to turn it over, when we took the high pressure fuel pump off, it was grinding, it sounded like crap. So hopefully, as long as the weather holds out and I can actually get some time on my hands, the engine will be coming out of this shortly. Yes, this is currently a Vauxhall Zafira. There are a few final bits that were just taken off of the car, ready for it to go to scrap. I'm hoping that by this time next week it should be gone. But yes. Let's try and work on this bottom one again. It's coming. Very slowly. Bottom one is out. Cut my glove. What a surprise. Yes. Hopefully, when this is gone as well, we should be looking at getting another vehicle that will hopefully soon be coming to the channel. Nothing is set in stone just yet. I haven't got anything in mind. It's more just what is available at the time. So, again, just keep working the pins in and out, slowly but surely, hopefully without damaging any part of the door. More just an awkward position. I'm very well. I'm very well. Like I say, just a bit overworked, underpaid, all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, jokes aside, yeah, I'm doing really well. I'm hoping, as mentioned, this time next week, this car will be away, gone, and then we can look at obviously what the future holds. We've still got a few videos that are coming out on this. Got one that is currently being edited at the moment, of removing the entire front end, and then we've got one ready for taking the engine out of. But again, sorry for the camera angle, we are currently trying to get this pin just here out, this one just there. It's the only thing that is left holding the door in position, and then I'll be transferring you over, because we're going to be heading into the car to strip part of the dashboard. So it's just a case of working this pin out slowly but surely, but it doesn't want to come out. Doesn't want to come out. Why would it? Normally the top one's obviously easier to do. Be able to knock it down. What will happen is I'll literally get to the point where I'm struggling like hell with it now, and then within about a minute or two it will come really loose, and I'll get like one good hit with it and it will come off. Does not want to have it, does it? But how's everyone's Sunday going so far? Few hours left before the shop's shut. Anyone last minute shopping? I'm just going to go grab some grips in a minute and see whether I can get it out that way. Normally you try and work it backwards and forwards, but I'll try not to scratch the door. Get in the top. Give it a couple more and then we'll go with some grips. Rig is going. I'm going to have to pull back, I think, to obviously open the door and have the door open. Right. Let me get some grips, see what I can do with them. 2 seconds, guys. It's come down so far, so don't see it being too much of an issue to be able to try and get the rest of it off. Move the wiring out of the way. Even if we try. She's coming slowly. Trying to get a grip on them. There we go. Right. So we've got the T30, sorry, the T40 for the check strap on the inside. The wiring is literally just held on by one of them plugs. And you've got the 2 pins. Again, because we've got the wing off, it's a bit easier for us because we're not going to have the door open. However, if I now grab it here and open the door, we have one door removed. I've done that where I've left the camera in a position where it's not that fantastic to show you. So, put that down there. And we will take you across. So, there is one passenger side front door. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at removing parts of the interior. I want to get the airbox out of this here, so we're going to look at removing the glove box, and from that I'm sure we'll hopefully be able to access some parts of this to be able to get down. I might transfer you over to the smaller one, so obviously you can get a bit of a better view. But glove boxes on these are quite easy to do. We've got, I think it's T20. It's not 25, so it is T20. So if we get T20, we get our little buzz gun. Could use that fitting. We'll get the other one. So, if we it's got a little gun. And what we're going to do is we have T20 bolt just there. Lift it up. Let me bring you in a bit closer. Just get that. I can try and do it. Underneath, I'm not really going to be able to show you that well. But underneath there is 2 T20s that should. And then we can remove the plug and plug boxes out. Woohoo! Come another cup. I've got a glove box down there. So junk, is that to the car, is that to the glove box? Because again, the majority of obviously this car is getting scrapped with the car itself, unfortunately. But yes, trying to get a bit of a better view. So just in there, you've got all of the heater control unit, the heater matrix, and then the blower box just down there. So let's have a bit of a look and see. And let's have a look. So this is the part that they're after, but we're also going to try and get this out. So this should be fun. If we start. Can we just like that? Take that box off just there. And yeah, start pulling some of the wiring out. Gonna be fun and games this, I can see it. Absolute fun games. Let's start taking screws off and hoping for the best. If I remember rightly, that there is... So, how is that held on? The possibility that that's bolted in from under the glove box. Not glove box, under the bonnet. So I'll have to have a look from in a moment. But if we take these off just here. No, we missed one. Missed one right there. All of the wiring is constantly just going to get in the way. There's always one bolt which is want to play ball. Yeah, so that should be two. Pollen filter. A little pick and pull. Pull the clip casings off. I don't think this necessarily needs to be done to be able to get it out, but start from somewhere and work our way back. Meant to do that. Bullets now. Right, so heater matrix is inside there, so it's just going to be a case of finding if and where obviously it's actually bolted to. Doesn't look like a simple thing to obviously get to. Shall we have a look? Because there's what I believe is bolt holes up there, but the bolts are the other way around. So I believe on this side they should be there. Them ones. So I think they're the same size, but they're not T30. So let's Try 25. Yep. So we switch the T20 to the T25 and then take you this way. And then we've got one bolt there, one bolt there, one bolt there, and the final one. Possibility that that T20 there is the last thing that's holding it on. So. Right, so now that that's done, they were definitely the bolts that were holding that on, and that is now free, but it's still connected to the airbox somehow. So theory with it is obviously how does it all connect, because obviously they're held on just by little clips. So like up there, some rivets up there. This is definitely loose now though. Definitely has the possibility of coming out. If we take the pollen filter out, because of the resistors there, they were what was originally causing the faults for the fires and stuff like that on the Zafiras. I remember when I worked at Vauxhall, we was doing them like no end. The amount of problems that was obviously caused by them. Slightly. Try and look at the wiring up there. That's obviously freed off the majority of that. But these all now free apart from up there, which again isn't a problem. So should be able to so that is loose, but what is still holding that on? Let's see if we shift with the pollen filter. Shift part of the carpet. definitely wanting to come out, but that's coming out as a complete unit. I don't know whether to try and take this clip off just there. Hardly doubt it's going to make a massive amount of difference, but that has separated part of it. The heater matrix is still in there. That obviously filters around there. Our other option is to just generally smash this out, because it's going to be going with the car anyway. The other option is to completely remove the dashboard, and that seems like a bit of a long-winded job just to be able to get the airbox out. But that's probably going to end up being the case. But anywho, what's everyone else's plans for their Sunday? Hopefully not as stupendous as this. There's definitely something that's still holding that together. I believe there's a possibility of a bolt just there. Yeah, just there. Look. Don't think it's going to focus very well. Right. Main question if it is, what size is it? T20 does fit. Doesn't leave you with a lot of room to be able to get at it, but and now, because of the stupid ratchet, it's lost its ball to hold it in position. Now the T20's gone. Wiring goes past it there, so that wiring is definitely not on it. It definitely wants to come away, but the whole box is stopping it. So, let's try and attack this from a different angle. So, that's now out. Now there's a T30 there. I wouldn't have assumed I'd have needed to have taken that out though. Is that just going behind that? These are fun games, these are to do. I feel like it would have been so much easier to have just taken the entire dashboard out. Well, didn't mean to switch it to my face, but welcome everyone. Nope, that's T20. That's the one that was lost, isn't it? Of course it is. There we go. We got it. Right. I mean, just the wiring, and that's just going to get cut if it carries on. Wasn't my intention to take the entire dashboard out, but there's a very good possibility that that's going to be the case. Looks like the centre console is holding that in, so that's no good. Doesn't really get us much further other than possibly taking these braces off here. It's going to give us that slight bit more room, so it might be the next port of call. What size are we thinking? If I'm honest, that didn't do as much as what I was hoping that it was going to. It's all this bit that I could do with removing, which is all part of the parcel, the actual... Yeah, you can see the crack in the front windscreen a bit better now. I don't know if and how much obviously you've been able to hear. I believe my microphone turned off. So again, apologise if the audio obviously cut out at any point. Yeah, it's not looking the greatest. It definitely looks like obviously the entire dashboard has got to come out, which is not really what I was hoping for. But if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. So, I believe if we take that out there, I believe there's them as well. I need to get them out. That one's on there. There's two. So there's that one, and then that one. Yeah, it's definitely looking that sort of way. I don't see getting it out without obviously taking the dashboard out. Obviously, anyone else got any thoughts? Yep, and we're back after launching my phone. This is just going to be a whole lot of fun and games, isn't it? See, I don't know whether if I can get that T20 out there, that's going to obviously remove this, which will give me a bit more room to be able to try and manoeuvre this around. So it's possibly going to be my best call is to try and take that T20 out. Just don't think I've got enough room to be able to get in at it. myself to the video. I mean, hopefully you guys are getting a bit of enjoyment out of me struggling to obviously get this out. Hopefully it's giving you guys some form of entertainment on your Sunday. If it is, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the videos. Nearly lost the T20 again. Don't know whether that's going to be enough for me to get it off by hand. No, literally just not. Too loose for the ratchet, but they're not loose enough for my fingers just yet. So, tighten that now. Still doesn't like the ball. Can only apologise about the audio. I believe obviously the microphone is messing up, which isn't exactly great. I hope the audio is okay for you guys. It is coming by hand very, 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 very slowly. Doesn't help because I've ripped my gloves. My gloves now obviously tangling up with it, so that's not fantastic. However, that bolt is off, but it still doesn't want to come out. This was never going to be an easy job, was it? I just can't really see what else is going to be blocking it. Feels like obviously it wants to come out, but that's just flexing. See, that's all coming off, and then there's something that's clearly holding it up there. I could try. Pop that off. I could separate the box. Should we give that a go? Right guys, I'm having a bit of technical difficulties with my microphone. Can anyone in chat currently just let me know if you can hear me? As I've had to obviously remove the microphone as it wasn't working. Yes. Now start removing this. bit if we have to. And then we still might have to take the entire dashboard out. This was definitely not a Sunday job. But don't really get a lot of time spare to do anything else. But yes, if anyone in chat can actually just let me know whether or not you can hear me, as my microphone is having difficulties at the moment. So I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me, and this is all not for nothing, because if not I will just restart the live without the microphone in. See with the T20s, should just be one more just here. Maybe I should have started with this one. This is in the most awkward place. That's gone good. Right, so step one is that part of it is out. Doesn't really help understand how we get the rest of it out. But again, progress has been made. They're all out there, so that's all loose. So it is just obviously this part of the box here. So, do we look at trying to take this section out here and seeing whether obviously any of that comes away? Heater matrix down there. Start taking these off. These are like goddamn bullets by the time that you're done taking them out. That box is coming off, however, this bit is still being held in by something. So, let's go and take another look in the engine bay. Because there is just loads of bolts and stuff absolutely everywhere, so I might benefit from taking these out, taking that. We need to remove these, but they've been cut anyway, so I'm not really too fussed about them. They can just come off with the heater matrix itself, I'm not too worried. Yeah, if we take that off, that's obviously just that. We could possibly look at taking that out, but I don't think that's to it. And then if we get them two bolts there, fun and games, fun and games. But again, I did say that we will see how the episode goes, and at the moment it's not looking very good for myself. So, if I take that one there, and there is literally one just there. And then, if we take that pipe is in the way, but that's fine. Again, the majority of obviously this engine has been stripped off, so take that one and that one. I'm not sure whether that was related to it or not, but it's off now regardless. It does seem to have made it a lot freer, but it still doesn't seem to have got it off completely. I don't know whether we might have to take the AC port off as well. So let me just try an E10. Looks good to me. Take the adapter off. And remove that, because what I do believe I have found is if we remove that, there's another bolt there. So, I mean, we just, if necessarily need be, by the time that we're done, if there's nothing left on this vehicle, then so be it. But yeah, we'll see how far we get down with stripping it down. So that one is off. Again, still feels like it's still got something else. Don't know whether this is part of it, but that's coming off as well. That has allowed it to move a slight bit more, but it still feels like it's being held in. So let's take our tools and have another look on the inside and see what we've caused. That is definitely coming out now. However, it's not going to come out in one piece. So we need to separate it, and I haven't got a clue how we do that. So, come along for the ride and let's see how far we can get. I hope you're all enjoying this, because I am not. Right, that is now coming off of there. So, something is still holding this in. So, could it be them clips there? We can soon find that answer. No. Right, I believe if I take the clips off the other side, we should be able to remove this bottom section there. I've just seen a clip just there, look. And this has done nothing. That is what we like. Just removing stuff for the sake of removing stuff. Because again, that has done nothing to it. So, if I lean over the other side and remove the clips. Oh god, this is fun and games this. God damn Vauxhalls. Right. So we have another section off. That has the heater matrix in. Also has the heater matrix in, so it looks like there's two of them. So what we need to do is we need to look at how we try and separate this section, this part of the section here, from this, and I can't see a thing. And I've took the majority of the clips off, anyone in chat have any clue whatsoever? Or is it just a case of... Is it just a case of unplugging and hoping for the best? Because we have this air pipe here. It feels like it's connected to the center console. So, if we move some of this stuff here, we'll see whether we can try and separate some of this. I didn't help like I wanted it to. I definitely didn't help where I wanted it to. That kind of did more than I expected it to. Need the extension, and I believe that I've got a T25 and it's a T20. Yes. Another problem with it is where's the T20 gone? I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. Where's the goddamn T20 gone? Is that the one where it fell down there? Yes, it's there. Tech mechanics is a job, they say. It's a good job. Is it? Is it really? I'd be bored if I didn't do this, so yeah. Right. How much has this helped? None. What is holding that on now? Right, that's separated that section. Might just be a case of everything else is in the way. No, there's still something holding this in. There's a couple of bolts at the back. However, does this do it enough? No. Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe I can hear you for now. I'm really glad that obviously you can hear me. We are currently in the UK, yeah, the glorious sunshine weather in the first day of February, but I do believe the, I keep forgetting the name of it, this thing here has got to come out. Yes, we are in the UK, the sunny, glorious UK. Trying to see whether or not I can get the blower motor, which is kind of out, which is over there, and the air box, which is loose. Just there's no way of getting it out. I'm trying to obviously see if and what I can separate. So. Yeah, I believe the dashboard's just going to end up having to come out, isn't it? Wow, from Niagara Falls, USA. Wow. So we're currently on a Vauxhall or Opel Zafira. It is currently being stripped down for parts. The car is being scrapped, trying to take obviously the last few final bits off, and it is causing me nothing but problems. If it's a Volvo, the dash has to come out. It isn't, it is a Vauxhall Zafira, but I still believe the dashboard's got to come out. Which, if I'm quite honest, I didn't want to have to do, but problems aside, let's get to it. Let's start removing stuff. It'll come out one way or another. So we shall remove the clocks. So the clocks are removed. That panel is off there. Right, so you've got a 10mm there, a 10mm there, 2 E-bolts there. Okay, not familiar with Vauxhall, don't have them here. Are you near London? So no, we're about 3 hours away from London where we are. We're not local to London. We do kind of go down there every now and again, or sort of down that general direction. Obviously usually take the kids to stuff like Chessington, which is a theme park down there. There's also Legoland and stuff like that. Manual transmission, to be fair, it's not that uncommon here. We do have quite a lot of manual transmissions. To be fair, all of the cars do. So I've got at the moment we seem to be a Vauxhall breakers yard, and we've not purposely done it that way. So we, as a daily, we've got a Vauxhall Astra. We picked this up for a friend that obviously was having issues with it. And then we did look at getting the Insignia, but we was lied to when we bought the car. Right, them bolts are out there, we'll go over to the other side. So we initially got told it was a immobiliser fault. I mean, it's in a sorry state now. However, there was quite a few things that was missing from it, and in hindsight, when we came to sort it out, there is a hole in the engine. So 2-litre diesel, we could have obviously just replaced that, but with everything that was missing and us not knowing what had actually gone off with the car, this one has been broke as well. Yeah, I believe obviously some of your Chryslers are similar to Vauxhall brand, but this is literally just hanging on by a thread. That's ready to come out. I'm basically just waiting for obviously a nicer day. Today hasn't been too bad. However, this is going to the scrapyard shortly, soon, hopefully like within the next week or so. So I need to take that off there. So this is just going to be a case of having a look around, seeing what bolts are where, and removing them as and when we need to. And will help if obviously the button is pressed that I need. So that one's off. We've got one there and one there. This should now come off. Nope, it's being held in by a bolt at the bottom. Yeah, they're not great here. So when we picked this car up, obviously our friend was looking at obviously scrapping it, but obviously again, same here, scrap prices are obviously quite far down. So it's just got to the point where obviously, rather than messing around or out like that, we decided to obviously take it off the hands, break it down for parts, and regretted it ever since. No, jokes aside, obviously it's done really well. There we go, there's another panel off. Back into the pile of crap. Appreciate the like, my friend. Welcome to the club. Like I say, we're slowly starting to strip this down. It's just going to take obviously a bit of time, obviously trying to find out if and where it all goes and what is still left to obviously get done. The amount of panels and stuff like that is still on this car. Well, we do and we don't. I don't really have the patience, but obviously again, a friend in need, so we just took it on for them and decided to try and help out. These clips, these little push spin clips just here. I'll tell you what. That'll do. That goes into the pile of crap. So 10mm, 10mm. We'll take them out, see how far we can get from there. Like I say, the intention with that one was to get that one back up and running. We were unfortunate. Like I say, the people that we bought it off generally could have been a mistake. They might not have known, but having a hole in the engine, I took 2 on scrap convertibles for winter, fix them both for spring. Nice. That was the intention with that car, but again, unfortunately. Right, so part of the dashboard is ready to come out. Having a look from this side, it does just look like that obviously comes just up. It's got a pry bar again, obviously. The dashboard isn't exactly in the greatest of condition, but yeah, the windscreen has got a massive crack in. So it is. I used to be really picky with tools. I did used to get to the point where obviously I had to have everything sort of branded, but it all just became too much. It was too expensive. So in the end, I just started picking stuff up bit by bit. We got stuff like this, a Mac Orlister or whatever it is. There's a bolt just there. Don't know whether that's irrelevant or not. But yeah, I just started picking stuff up bit by bit. I did used to obviously care about the brands and obviously thingy. I do try and get Halford's Advanced if and where I can, depending on what job it is that I'm doing. Oh, good God, that's definitely held in by something, but what I am unsure on. Ooh. But yeah, what sort of things are you into then? Right. 2 bolts in the middle there. But yeah, it's just stuff that I've picked up. I used to get Mac tools, Snap-on, and all of them sort of things. But it all just became too expensive. And now right, go down a minute. Right. Yeah, I think that's it. They are good quality, and again, you can get like decent things from Mac and Snap-on. I'm not trying to say that they're not good quality or anything like that. It's more that I just feel like obviously they're too expensive for what obviously we use them for, whereas now I've just started getting some cheaper tools and for me, for us, it works out better. Something is definitely still holding this in. Let's go and have a look under the honestly, fun with cars, that's exactly the same as obviously what we was like. We got to the point where could be something to do with them bolts just there. Let's try and take them out and see whether the dashboard comes out with them. Let's get our 10mm. Where's the 10mm gone? Oh god, a lucid 10mm. I did have Stanley or Husky brand in the UK. Stanley, yes. Husky, I'm not familiar with. It's not 10mm anyway. Good God. Right. Let's swap that over to the 13. Oh, come on. The dashboard is nearly out. But yeah, we was exactly the same. I mainly, when I worked in the motor trade, that's it. You literally, something is still holding it, but I just don't know what. Don't believe it's them, because I believe they're glued on. I've just literally ripped that out, but I can't see what is holding this all in. All of that's out. I don't think that's related. Nothing else obviously here to hold it in. But yeah, the 10mm is just a lucid. That will just disappear if and when it wants to, and all of this sort of stuff. Right, so it is definitely towards the back, towards the top. So I don't see anything that could. Oh, nice, nice. I've obviously I've worked on a few Land Rovers. It seems like it wants to come out, just isn't. It is just getting wrenched out in a minute. Could be that the airbag's obviously still attached, or is that now separate? No, the airbag's obviously separated, so we're okay on the airbag. That could have possibly come out with the dashboard. Seems to be something centralised. It seems like something up there. I cannot for the life of me figure out what it is. Like I say, that's now all separated. I don't know whether it's just the air pipes that are getting stuck. Wouldn't have assumed. Yeah, this is my thought, but I can't see one. Obviously, again, the wiring in that's obviously held in by earth, but I can't see anything that's going to cause any issues. You just saw a screw. Whereabouts? They're rivets, obviously I'm not too concerned about them. Anything down there? No, it doesn't look like it. Under that steel tube. That one. It's not focusing in now. So that one is just for the wiring. I mean, it might do it, but I believe that's obviously staying in place. So the dashboard is coming out without the wiring. So I don't believe it's that. I'll take it off anyway, because again, why not? No, that's 10mm. Always one or the other. I've get a ratchet on that, rather than trying to get the gun in there. Like that. It's a bit of a difficult one to try and film under here. At this moment, I'm happy to try and take anything off. Oh, what? Check the other side. I don't know whether the steering column could be causing the issue. I take that on there like that. So that's all free. That's all out. That's all out. Just doesn't seem to want to come forward, but it's more central, more that side. So let's head over that side. Is this? No, so that's obviously all detached. Underneath it. I think it's just because of it's clipped in underneath there. So now that side's out. Now that side's come back in. That's going to stay on the car without the dashboard. For the life of me, figure this out. Now, he's coming away there. That's obviously out. So it's not doing too bad at the moment. Obviously, as you can probably see by the floor, it's obviously very damp and very wet. But yeah, it's the weather is a bit hit and miss. Obviously, 1 minute it'll be absolutely throwing it down, and the next it will be mild. It was actually sunny for the first time this year the other day. I mean, that's glued on, so I don't think that's supposed to come up the way that it has. I am just going to wrench it out in a minute. I'm not too worried about, obviously, the thing. I don't know whether it's... They're just bolted on there. But yeah, the weather's decent. How is it obviously over in America? So all of that is definitely off. So it has definitely got to do something with the centre bit. Literally just doesn't make sense on what is still holding this. Definitely seems like centralised back there, but it seems like it wants to come out, but then isn't. Unless it is just these sections here that are just bonded. Again, we're in New York State, in Buffalo. It's been snowing, unusually cold. Jesus. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but it's also not a good thing as well. Like I said, it's not the greatest of weather, but when we get snow, we had snow recently and we barely got any. Like, it wasn't really worth having snow. So yeah, it's kind of not really worth it, but then at the same time it is. So at least obviously over there, you guys obviously get snow, you guys get like blizzards and stuff like that. I actually don't understand what is still holding this in. That it is out, it is loose as hell, just won't for the life of it actually come out. It's definitely something centralised to this that's not coming out, because that's all being held in, whereas is that you're not fixing it because of the weather, or you're not fixing it because of you just procrastinating and trying to get out of it? Because if I've been procrastinating this for a good few days and it's not getting me nowhere, and I'm now stuck doing it. So I definitely agree with that. I can't get to any of it. Everything is in the way. So it's just a case of let's try and remove some of these air vents, air pipes. At the end of the day, we need to get the blower box off anyway. Hopefully it will help uncover something, because okay, so that's all right for some in a nice heated garage where I'm just freezing my absolute tits off outside with a car that currently has no door since I've literally just taken off at the last one. But no, I don't blame you. I really don't blame you. It's one of them things that obviously I've been procrastinating this for a very long time. I've been trying to obviously get around to it, but like, I just want the car gone now. It seems to have moved more taking them air pipes out, but still doesn't seem to have completely and utterly separated it. So there is still somewhere a bolt, but I, for the life of me, cannot figure out where. However, what we can now try and do with the movement in the dashboard is we can now try and see how much of this we can actually get out. So if we move the air pipes out of the way down there, right, after looking at that, let's have a look and see if I can remove these pipes. So that pipe there is riveted on underneath just there. So I don't know if that is partly what's causing a problem. So the sides are definitely off. The sides are completely 1,000,000% off. Because if I go to the other side, it is literally just that centre part. I've currently already detached, not that bit, this bit, and I don't believe obviously I was supposed to do it the way that I've done it, because that looks like it's supposed to be glued. But like I say, I'm not too fussed about obviously the dashboard. No one's wanted it to this date, so I'm more than happy with taking it out. Again, it's just center console area under the radio infotainment unit, behind heater control panels, hidden behind the 12-volt socket. So the 12-volt socket is there on this. So that's all completely separate to the dashboard. So if I shift that out of the way, again, I'm not too fussed about that trim. That trim is not going. That's going to get scrapped. All of this section behind the infotainment is off. Yeah, I'm thinking that that's going to be the case in a minute. Right, I'm going to put you guys through in a second. I'm going to get two hands on this. Something is definitely stopping this. There is definitely a 10mm bolt or something somewhere. And definitely is around here. Definitely coming. There we go. There we go. I honestly couldn't tell you what was holding that in, because there is literally, obviously these sections have got bolts in, but they're obviously separate. Well, yeah, so I could not for the life of me tell you what that was held on with. I think it was just pure enough to just look that that's come out. And there's the airbag. I do believe that was probably supposed to stay in there, but like an idiot I forgot to obviously remove it. Right, let's try and obviously push it out the other side, and it should, I mean if it hasn't then we are very much in trouble. So try and it's just being held on by this section here, but there's just some bits of wiring that's now holding it in. Kind of only want to get behind it to see if and what was actually holding it on, because from what I can see there's no bolts that have snapped. So There should be enough room now. Should. Right, I believe I need to take the hoses off on the front, and then we should be able to get this out. I mean, this is still being held in by something. But again, what is a completely different story. So I've done work on a few Jaguars. I recently did a cooling system and it was on a Jaguar XFS. The rear brace. Or the crash bar, as obviously other people would say, like the collision bar. That holds the exhausts on, and that basically all caved in and gave way. Right, so I need to now get these off of here, which it does not want to come off. Of course it doesn't. But yeah, what Jaguars have you had? I believe that should be the only thing that is holding that left in. But they're not going to go through, so I've definitely got to take them off. So bear with me 2 seconds while I get the camera. V12 XJS, a couple of XJ, one Vanden Plas. Wow. Yeah, I mean, we've not done too much into obviously other branded cars. I never really intended on getting 3 Vauxhall Zafira, Vauxhalls. It kind of just ended up going that way in the end. But yeah, I think it's one of them things that it sort of at the time became about. More circumstances more than anything. We are looking for another vehicle for when this one is gone. When that one. These do not want to come off. Yeah, we're definitely looking at obviously getting a few other vehicles. Never intended to obviously just solely get Vauxhalls. It more came about of obviously circumstances. This was originally our friend's. We took this on, and then the Insignia behind, I managed to get obviously a really good deal on it. So it just ended up getting to the point where that was more, we can't pass up the opportunity. And even with the circumstances of the engine being shot on that, it still worked out really decent for us. Damn, there's one off. Oh damn, what I'll have to do is, as soon as I've finished on this video, can I have a look now? I can't have a look at this moment in time. However, what I can do is, after I've finished the video, I can have a look at your account, and I can definitely look at obviously subscribing if you've got obviously a video live or anything like that. Anyone else obviously in chat, if they want to do the same, if you're into any sort of vehicle sort of things or anything like that, head over. You don't like to make this easy at all. Damn. Yeah, they're definitely not quick releases. Well, they should be, but they're definitely not. Rip the glove even more. I go for gloves like no tomorrow. Right, so I believe that should be everything. I think it is just now trying to obviously get the room on one side to be able to do it. So I might have to go and take that wiring off the other side so I can actually take the full dashboard out rather than it just hanging there like that, so I've got more room. So at the moment, obviously we only have Vauxhalls. So obviously this is mine, this is the daily that we use. This was in a crash. I have still got some work to do to it. The bumper's not completely aligned, look, which is obviously doing my head in. I bought another car while this got in for repair. We then took this on, and then we took this heap of crap. But I do appreciate you obviously subbing. It does mean a lot, and we are moving ever so closer to the 500 mark, which hopefully when we can hit, obviously we can start moving forward with some of the next stages. But yeah, we're definitely looking at obviously other brands. But yeah, we're moving ever so closer to 500. Trying to obviously push to keep going. But yeah, it's a case of as and when. But we are looking, and again, it's more situation more than it is we're after a specific brand. I'd like to keep away from Vauxhall. I'd move to something like either BMW, Audi or Mercedes, anything on them sort of lines. Try and obviously break it up and get a few different vehicles. But yeah, hopefully they will be coming shortly. Again, once I can get rid of this vehicle, once this vehicle is gone. Any more cable connections? Nope. So Peugeot, they're an okay brand. They're not, again, I won't sort of speak down about obviously different brands and stuff like that. God damn, that's a massive mess, that. Bear with me 2 seconds. I'm just going to move the dashboard out of the way. The major problem that I'm going to have after this video is oh wow, half of the time it's not what you know, it's who you know. Like you say, you can either get some good deals, or you can just obviously get people to obviously help you out and stuff like that. So it's definitely a bonus on when you do know some people that can influence or help you get some form of deal or something like that. I used to work at Vauxhall, which is where I ended up getting my daily from. Right, dashboard is now out of the way. So we can now look into what is holding this in. Airbag, it might be a good idea to take this off. It isn't live, there's no battery, but again, it might just be easier to get this off. Peugeots aren't too... you see there was another bolt there all along. That's clearly the reason why this won't come off. So, is it T20 or T25? Might be able to get the gun in now. We've got the dashboard out of the way. So, with that out of the way, that just looks like it does the top. Unless there's a bolt. Yep, there's one just there. I still can get it out even without the dashboard in. Yeah, General Motors is obviously Vauxhall. That is usually the name, sort of branding and that comes with it. So I'd obviously have to agree with you on that one. Right, there's another part of that out of the way, and that section is now off. Still doesn't help with what is holding this in. I don't know whether we might have to move this bar. And again, the main reason why I say that is because if it looks like this is all blocking it, what an absolutely stupid design this is. I mean, I've probably gone the long-winded way around it, and you're probably not going to even take off half of what I took off. But what an absolute nightmare this is. And that feeds down the back of there, so we can't take that off of there. That's all of that. I mean, it is slowly coming out, but I don't know whether it might just be a better idea to literally just remove this bar. Take obviously all of the things that are held on by and physically just remove it. It's just going to give us so much more room, and again, with the car being scrapped anyway, it's not going to make a massive difference with what obviously I do. So I'm not going to be nice about it, because again, none of this is going to be staying on the car anyway. The car's going to get scrapped with it all on. So yeah, we've made quite a bit of money on this vehicle, selling parts and stuff like that. We're just trying to do it now where the car is being scrapped. So we're just looking at it as a point of view of what can we take off that might be worth some money. Yeah, back can go with the bar. Finish taking that 10mm off. Get that out of the way. We've still got the bolts on the outside. Some 30 bolts there. But yeah, people, a lot of, believe it or not, stuff like the engine. The engine's gone, the gearbox is gone. All of the doors apart from that one there. That one is obviously the last door that we have. Get everything out of the way. Final bolt. Down there. That's that's off. So none of that wiring is attached, none of that wiring is attached. That's obviously through there. We've got a 10mm bolt just there, and then I believe it is just, I mean, that's all loose there. That's off. Oh, we're gonna have to take the airbag off, but to be fair, we might be able to just get the wiring off. I believe the GM 4-cylinder Ecotec engine used in millions of cars. Yes, so the Ecotec is actually used in a variety, and I mean a massive variety of cars. So yeah, but again, a lot of manufacturers. Yes. So we are allowed to obviously buy and sell airbags. It's not a problem. Obviously, again, you just have to be careful, and again, make sure that you actually are selling what you're saying that you're selling, and it's not obviously a problem. What I have just realised is the airbag has got another clip on this side, so pull that clip out there and then wobble it out like that. They're just held on by clips. I've possibly got to obviously remove the steering column because of that still bolted in down there. So if I remove the steering column from them bolts and then the one bolt outside, we should be good to go. So no idea what size it is. We'll go with this one. Looks roughly around. Yes, we are allowed to sell airbags. Obviously, again, you do have to be cautious and careful with what you are selling, making sure that it is actually decent quality. It's not obviously going to cause anyone any problems and stuff like that. So people are very reluctant to buy airbags, but again, you are allowed. Not. Right, so yeah. Put you there like that. Swap that over and shoot. So that's the column removed. Is it? That's obviously there. Column might not be removed. I honestly don't know at this point. All I want to do is get that box out there. That's literally all I want. No, so you are allowed to, here you are allowed to obviously sell airbags and all components like that. Obviously you have to be very cautious with obviously buying and selling airbags, but you are allowed. Cats, again, you just sort of have to be careful with them because of, obviously, again, you don't really want to get scammed, and a lot of people obviously strip or separate them. The insignia that we had, that one did have a decattered DPF. So obviously they removed all of the contents from the inside of the DPF and basically gutted it. Alright, let's have a look and we'll see what is actually still holding this on, because should be that bolt there. Remove that one. And then that bolt there. So it's still being held on by something. Still being held on. I believe it's all of the mechanism around here, all of this It's all bolted obviously up there, so I think the 13 mils is sort of what's holding it on. So get the 13 mil, and again I think we spoke a bit too soon. You can probably tell by the windscreen now. It is starting to rain here, so the weather isn't fantastic. I'll start moving some of this stuff in and out of the way. Where's the 13? It's not normally the 13 that goes walkabout. Right. Yeah, if you are enjoying and not just fun with cars, as he already has, which we really do appreciate. If you are liking the content, you find me funny, you find me stupid, or anything like that, please feel free to subscribe or like the video, either or. It's still being held in by something. This car is just a never-ending nightmare. I just need that slight bit more room to be able to get the heater box out. And when the heater box is out, that's it. I can obviously deal with the rest of it, either in the car or obviously elsewhere. But wow. One, obviously 7,000 subs is sick. Obviously again, they're numbers we can only dream of at this moment in time, which we're slowly getting there, so we'll just, you know, obviously chip away at it bit by bit. But yeah, 6 million views. What was you doing? Obviously again, I'll definitely have a look into the account as soon as I've obviously finished getting this off, which I'm hoping shouldn't be too much longer. It's definitely easier to do with 2 things. So if I get the pick, there. I didn't mean for that to come off the way that it did, but pure brute strength. But yes, what on earth video did you do to get 6 million views? That's a really decent video. That like a really decent. Lots of YouTube shorts. Saw something too bad. Wow. I think obviously that's the next thing. Is I'm just. I honestly just have no clue what is still holding this in. But I just need that slight bit more room to be able to get the box out of the way. But no, whether it's obviously from YouTube Shorts, whether or not it's YouTube videos, but damn, 6 million views is sick. That did not work. Right. Why does that seem like that is stuck in? Videos I put hours and days into, I only got a few hundred views. I randomly talked about an exhaust manifold I built as a kid and got 600,000 views. Regardless or not on if and what obviously you ended up doing, dude, that's still wicked to be able to obviously get that many in one video. That's still like massive amounts. I just don't understand with this bloody car. What is holding it in? I can guarantee that there was a really simple and easy way to get this done, and I've just made it the utmost impossible way ever. But again, it's I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's definitely held on there by something. But what? What on earth could it be? I actually think that might be bonded to it. How the hell do you get that out then? Put that sort of back in mind. At this point, I honestly have got no clue. I'm just starting to obviously get confused by all of this now. I need to figure out where that wire goes. It goes somewhere down there. I'm just going to slowly chip away at this bit by bit. I've got no clue on if and how and if I'm doing it right, not doing it right, or what. I have probably made a complete and utter dog's dinner of this, and I can guarantee that there would have been such a simple and easy way to be able to do it, and I've just made it near enough impossible. Because again, I just like to make my life difficult rather than making it simple. That is basically out, but I don't understand what's holding it in. No, so never really worked on carburetors and stuff like that, because again, a lot of it is we don't have many sort of like carburetor cars in the UK. Or obviously if we do, there's sort of like the olden type cars and stuff like that. I believe it's possibly to do with them pipes there. I hate working on interiors. I believe I need this to tilt up slightly, so that I can get the hose that is currently stuck there. Wiring is still in the way. Maybe that one more. I believe the only thing that is holding it in place is currently the steering column here, so I might have to look at taking that off. If I can get the steering column out of that unit there, I'm hopefully thinking that this should be free enough, and that's the only thing that's holding it on. So I haven't had any experience with them, but to be fair, I used to work for Volvo. I worked at a couple of different Vauxhall dealerships and then worked for Volvo before I got out of the trade, the motor trade, and then like an idiot decided to obviously start filming YouTube on vehicles. I'm gonna need to tumble again, but I'll put that back for now. I believe it's a possibility of an E8. The weather is starting to turn rubbish, so I'm hoping that it is not. It is the E10, so I am just walking backwards and forwards for no reason. So we'll put that back. The E10 is currently that one. That's all right then. I take it you worked for Volvo yourself then, yeah? Get that on. LED extension. 2 seconds. Again, it's just easier to have 2 hands. Obviously, when we're filming interior. Steering column on my phone. That would have gone well. What is still holding this on? Them 2 13mm there. Okay. I'm literally just going to remove absolutely everything now that is connected to this, even if it's nowhere near. I'm very much past the point now. Easier said than done. Might be able to do it. So now I need the extension, but I think the extension is going to stop me from having as much oomph with the I don't think it's long enough. For goodness sake, 13mm long. Deep 13mm. I've got one of them. 13mm deep. I knew that this job was going to be a nightmare. Didn't expect it to be this much of a nightmare. And I definitely didn't have to expect to obviously have to take all of this out. And again, I can guarantee that someone after the end of it will get to the point where they go, you didn't have to do none of that. My argument to them people will be, where were you when I started? Right, is that connected? That's not connected there, but it is connected up here. So I believe there's them 2 13mm there, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get into them. I've got a lot of 2-ton gasoline petrol content. No, I don't think it's perfect. 1 second, let me take the extension off. I will apologise for the camera as of today. It's not exactly been the best quality. No, it's 4 PM here currently. 4 PM here at the moment. Well, what time is it there? There's one. No, that's just rounding it. I'm gonna have to get the ratchet. Of course I am. I was so close. 11 AM. Damn, I wish it was still 11 AM here. Well, I do and I don't. The day's not actually been that bad. Sorry again. Attaching you to the ratchet. I believe this off, we should be free to go. It had that slight bit more movement in it. But yeah, it's currently 5 to 4 here. So very close to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've currently been on this for over 2 hours, just trying to obviously get this heater box out. Cars, fun and games. Nice. Like I say, anyone that is obviously interested in any vehicles, car content or anything like that, if you subscribe to us, obviously head over to Fun with Cars and check out his content as well. Right. I have no idea whether that's going to do it. I don't think there is anything else that is still attached to it, but at this point it would not surprise me. So, down again. Still got it. For what? The wiring's off enough to be able to actually move it. It's nearly out. Right. Fit. I've got the wiring out. Put that wiring that way. Should be able to get it out. But the end is inside, so I can feel it. There is more movement in it now than there ever was. I do believe it is just a case of lifting this and trying to wiggle it out, but I don't think I've got enough room. I still don't understand what is holding this in. The only thing that is still attached is part of the brake unit there. They're off, but obviously not been put through. It is so close to being out though. It's not that expensive. It's not as expensive as I'd have liked it to have been, but yeah, money's still money at the end of the day. It's just been a hell of a lot of work, but it's gave me some content. I can't. I've not got no more room this way to try and pull it out that way. It's just this section here. I think that an angle grinder is going to just have to come up, because I just. That wiring is loose enough to be able to come off. That is attached to there, but that's obviously loose. All of that's loose. Good God. What have I done? So that's nearly off there. Maybe a bit of pry bar forcing will get that off. This one is not off at all. Again, I could. I just don't know. I just don't know. We also got to see the Victoria and Albert Museum, Harrods, the women observed. Alright. To be fair, believe it or not, to say that I live in the UK, I've never actually been to my capital. I've never actually been into London. I've been close, a few places around London. We call it the world's largest car park. It's called the M25, which is just obviously part of a motorway. But yeah, other than that, I've never actually been into the main city of London. The pry bar is there. Let's see whether I can pry bar this off. Which is quite embarrassing, to be fair, because obviously again I've lived in the UK my entire life and never been. I want to take my kids. I mean, that's still in solid, so I might have to take the 13 mils that are holding that in. I'm so over this. I'm so over this. I just don't understand what is still holding this in place. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, any road that has M at the front of it, you're pretty much out of luck. But yeah, just the M25 is sort of like the circle road that goes around London. So I've got a bit of an idea because I can't do this no more and it's not working. So let's try. One more T20 just there. Alright, so now remove the front section. Does that now? Give the amount of room I need. It does! Let's go! Right, it should just be unplug, but with it. Flipping how does that go? I'm very close to just getting the cutters and just cutting that. Right, very, very close. So that's part of, is that part of the main wiring loom? It is not, that's coming out with it. We have achieved a victory, finally, after multiple hours. Right. God damn. Fun with Cars, thank you very much for joining us. Literally just as you're about to go, we have got the box out. I really appreciate that you coming in, you staying, you chatting with me. It's been wonderful. I appreciate you, and yes, I'll definitely head over, and again, if anyone else is watching wants to head over to Fun with Cars 716 and check out their content. This has been an absolute nightmare, and thank you very much. I am very sorry that it took as long as obviously what it has. I am very sorry that it is a very unorganized and absolute mess of a video, but I appreciate you staying with me. But from me and everyone here, that is going to be it. I've been on this now for 2 hours. That was the whole point of it, is to just get that hunk of crap out just there. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everyone. Again, please like and subscribe if you're obviously into these sort of videos, or if you have any content that you would like to watch. Again, have got some new videos coming out on this real soon, as well as the live coming out hopefully when the weather holds out again. We've now started to obviously get a bit more rainy, but yes, this 2-litre engine will be getting ripped out of the Insignia. And when it is out of the Insignia, we're going to strip all of the parts off of it. And while it's stripped down, we are physically going to take the cams off, as well as the head, to try and find out what damage has happened to that. So please keep an eye out for that. And again, like and subscribe for now, so you stay up to date. I'm now going to quickly get all of this inside, as it's now getting rained on. But yeah, I appreciate everyone. Thank you very much. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Cheers, guys.